I used to tell myself I liked being alone. Said it was easier that way. No noise, no drama, no one asking why my life felt so quiet. But that was just a lie I repeated until it sounded true. The truth was, I was just used to being alone, and that scared me more than I wanted to admit. I lived in a small one-bedroom apartment on the edge of Portland's Pearl District. The floors creaked when I walked, and the kitchenette felt like it was built for one person who did not expect company. If I stood near the rain-streaked window at the right angle, I could see a thin slice of the Willamette River. Most nights were the same. My laptop glowing on the table, takeout from the Thai place nearby, and a heavy feeling in my chest I could never fully explain. I worked as a graphic designer at a small agency downtown. Logos, websites, social posts for local startups. The work paid the bills, but it did not light anything inside me. I stared at screens all day, moving colors and fonts around like they were the most important things in the world. When I shut my computer at night, the silence hit hard. So I built routines to make life feel less empty. Walks through Forest Park when the weather allowed. And more often, the same coffee shop where I could sit for hours and feel like I belonged somewhere. The place was called Brewhaven. It sat between an art gallery and a vintage bookstore, with brick walls, worn wooden tables, and music that always felt soft and careful. I started going there 3 years ago, right after I moved to the city. I always ordered the same thing, a latte with skim milk and no sugar. I sat at the corner table by the window, pretending to work while my thoughts wandered. That was where I met Luna. The first time I saw her, she was behind the counter wiping down the espresso machine like it was a familiar ritual. Curly dark hair pulled into a loose bun, warm hazel eyes. A smile that did not feel forced. When I ordered, she looked up and said, "Latte, skim milk, no sugar, right?" She had not written it down. Somehow, she made it feel like my presence mattered. After that, it was small things. A nod when I walked in. A quiet, rough morning when I looked tired. Over time, those moments turned into conversations. Music, work, dreams we never said out loud. She started writing song names on my cup. I brought her a playlist. Then we started texting. Slowly, without either of us naming it, she became the person I wanted to tell everything to. And I fell in love with her without ever saying the words. 3 years passed like that. Me smiling, me waiting, me being terrified to risk losing her. Until one night, I looked down at my sketchbook and realized I had drawn her face again and again. Something inside me snapped. The next day, I walked into Brewhaven holding a small bouquet of wildflowers. My hands shook as I said the words I had been hiding for years. "Luna, I like you. I've liked you for a long time." She looked at me, eyes soft and shocked, and whispered, "Why didn't you say it sooner?" She said it so softly that for a second I thought I imagined it. "Why didn't you say it sooner?" Her voice did not sound angry. It sounded tired, like someone who had been holding the same question for a long time. I stood there with the flowers shaking in my hands. My heart was racing so fast, I felt dizzy. I had walked in ready to be rejected, ready to hear she only saw me as a friend. I was not ready for this. Not for the look in her eyes, not for the weight of those words. "Can we sit?" I asked, pointing to our usual table by the window. Luna nodded. She told her coworker she needed a short break and walked around the counter with the flowers still between us like something fragile. We sat down, the scratched wooden table, familiar and suddenly strange. She folded her hands and took a breath. "I liked you too," she said. "I have for a long time." My chest tightened. All the small moments rushed back at once. The saved muffins, the late-night texts, the way she stayed after her shift just to talk. I had told myself it was nothing. I had been wrong. "I was scared," I said. "I didn't want to lose you." She nodded slowly. I waited, she said. And after a while, I got tired of waiting. My stomach dropped before she even said the name. There's someone else, she added quietly. His name is Ethan. The coffee shop felt suddenly too loud and too quiet at the same time. I didn't want to date him, she said. But he was clear. He wanted me out loud. And I thought maybe that's what I needed. I stared at the flowers, feeling like I had shown up too late. Her phone buzzed on the table. She glanced at it, then looked back at me with a sad smile. That's him, she said. He's outside. My heart sank as she stood up. I have to go, she whispered. She walked toward the door, leaving the bouquet behind. I watched her step out into the gray afternoon, toward a man waiting by the curb, and without thinking, I stood up and followed her. The cold air hit my face the moment I stepped outside. Rain clung to the street, turning everything gray and dull. Luna stood near the curb, her shoulders tense. A dark car was parked there, clean and sharp-looking. A tall man leaned against it like he belonged there. I knew without asking, Ethan. He straightened when he saw me. His smile looked practiced, not warm. So, you're Jacob, he said. Hearing my name from his mouth made my stomach tighten. Luna spoke first. Ethan, this isn't a good time. Her voice was calm, but I could hear the strain under it. He ignored her and looked at me. You were inside with her, holding flowers. He laughed once, short and hard. Interesting. We were talking, I said, keeping my voice steady. Talking, he repeated, like it was funny. He turned to Luna. Is that what we're calling it now? Stop, Luna said. Please. He stepped closer to her, his hand moving toward her arm. She shifted back, just a small step, but I saw it. My chest tightened. Don't, I said quietly. Give her space. Ethan's smile faded. You think you get a say. Kay looked at Luna again. You see this? It's been waiting around like a backup. That stung because it carried a piece of truth. I had waited. I had been silent. But Luna wasn't something to wait on. She was standing right there, breathing hard, trying not to disappear. Don't talk about me like I'm not here, Luna said. Her voice shook, but she didn't back down. Ethan sighed like she was being difficult. Let's go. We'll talk at home. No, she said. Not right now. His tone shifted, lower and heavier. Luna. Something in her snapped. I'm tired, she said. I'm tired of feeling small. The street felt quiet, like it was listening. Ethan scoffed. You're embarrassing me? She lifted her chin. Then don't wait. He stared at her, stunned. Then he shook his head. You'll regret this. He got into his car and drove off, water spraying from the tires. Luna stood there, shaking. I stayed close, but didn't touch her. Are you okay? I asked. She nodded slowly. I don't think I can go back to that. She turned and walked back into Brewhaven. I followed, knowing nothing was the same anymore. Inside Brewhaven, the warmth wrapped around us again, but it did not feel the same. Luna stopped by our table and stared at the flowers like they meant something different now. Her hands were shaking. I wanted to pull her into my arms, but I didn't. I could tell she needed space more than comfort. I don't want to stay here, she said quietly. Can we go somewhere else? Yeah, I said. Anywhere you want. She thought for a second. The river, she said. The quiet part. We walked without talking much. The sky hung low and gray, and the air smelled like wet pavement. When we reached the river path, it was nearly empty. The water moved slow and dark, like it was carrying everyone's thoughts away. We sat on a damp bench, close but not touching. My hands won't stop shaking, she said, holding them up. I saw it then, how much she had been holding in. Do you want me to hold your hand? I asked, just to help. She nodded. I reached over slowly. Her hand was cold at first, but she squeezed tight, like she needed something solid. "I didn't expect him to show up," she said. "He usually keeps things quiet." Like control only works if no one sees it. My chest tightened. "Has he always been like that?" "Not at first," she said. "At first, he was charming. Then it turned into comments, questions, showing up when I didn't ask, making me feel guilty for laughing." She swallowed. "I stayed because I was tired of waiting. I thought wanting someone who wanted me out loud mattered more than feeling small." Her phone buzzed in her pocket. She froze. "It's him," she whispered. "You don't have to answer," I said. It buzzed again. Then again. She pulled it out, stared at the screen, and did something I didn't expect. She blocked the number. She looked at me, eyes wide. "I've never done that before." "I'm proud of you," I said, and I meant it. She nodded, breathing shaky. "I don't want to go home alone tonight." "You can come to my place," I said. "Just to be safe." She hesitated, then nodded. "Okay, just safe." And for the first time that day, I felt like we were choosing something different. The drive to my apartment was quiet. Rain streaked across the windshield, and the city lights blurred into soft lines of color. Luna held the bouquet in her lap like it was something fragile. Her shoulders were still tense, but not as tight as before. When we stepped inside my apartment, the warmth wrapped around us. The space felt smaller with her in it, but not crowded. It felt real. I handed her a glass of water, then gave her my softest blanket. "You take the bed," I said. "I'll sleep on the couch." She looked at me for a long moment, like she was measuring trust. Then she nodded. "Thank you." After she went into the bedroom, I lay on the couch staring at the ceiling. Every sound made me tense. A car outside. The building settling. I kept thinking about Ethan's face, the way his calm cracked when he lost control. I knew blocking him would not be the end. I barely slept. Just before sunrise, I heard quiet footsteps. Luna stood at the edge of the living room, wrapped in the blanket, her hair messy, eyes tired. "I didn't sleep much," she said softly. "Me neither," I admitted. "Coffee." She smiled a little. "Please." I made coffee in the tiny kitchen. When I handed her the mug, our fingers brushed. It was a small touch, but it made my heart jump. "I feel guilty," she said after a sip. "For what?" "For ending it and not feeling sad the way I thought I should." "Guilt doesn't always mean you did something wrong," I said. "Sometimes it just means you're used to putting yourself last." She nodded slowly. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Luna's face drained of color. "That's him," she whispered. "If I block him, he uses another number." The phone buzzed again. A text appeared. "Answer me." Her hands started shaking. I moved closer. "You're safe here," I said. "You don't have to answer." It buzzed again. "I don't want to hide," she said, "but I don't know what to do." "We'll do this the right way," I said. "Together." She looked at me, fear and trust mixed in her eyes. And then the phone rang. The phone kept ringing. The sound filled the room like it had weight. Luna stared at it like it might bite her if she touched it. I picked it up and put it on speaker, my hand shaking even though I tried to stay calm. Jacob, Ethan's voice came through right away, smooth and sharp at the same time. "Tell her to answer me." Luna sat beside me, wrapped in the blanket, her knees pulled close to her chest. She didn't speak. I could hear her breathing, fast and uneven. "You need to stop calling," I said. She asked for space. He laughed softly. "She's upset. She always gets like this." "Put her on." Luna flinched at the word always. I felt something hard settle in my chest. "No," I said. "She's done. You need to leave her alone." His voice dropped. "You think you're helping her? You're not. You're confusing her." Luna reached for the phone, then stopped, her hand hovering in the air. I looked at her. Are you sure? I asked quietly. She nodded once. She took the phone from me and held it close. Kea. Her voice shook, but it was clear. Ethan, don't come here. Don't call me again. I'm done. There was a pause. Then his tone turned cold. You don't mean that? I do, she said. You don't get to tell me how I feel. You'll regret this, he said. Maybe, she replied. But it's my choice. She ended the call. The room went quiet, except for the rain tapping the window. Luna's whole body started to shake. Tears spilled down her face, fast and heavy. I pulled her into my arms without thinking. She didn't pull away. She held on to me like she needed something solid. I'm scared, she whispered. I know, I said. But you were brave. Then there was a knock at the door. Calm, steady. Luna froze. That's him, she whispered. My heart dropped. Go to the bedroom and lock the door, I said. She hesitated, then nodded and disappeared down the hall. I walked to the door and spoke through it. Ethan, leave. I just want to talk, he said. Open the door. No, I said. Leave now or I'm calling the police. There was silence. Then another knock, harder this time. The knock came again, louder this time, like he believed pressure would change my mind. I kept my voice steady, even though my hands were shaking. Ethan, leave. This is over. I heard him laugh through the door. You're making this messy. She always comes back. Before I could answer, I heard the bedroom door open behind me. Luna stepped into the hallway. Her hair was messy, her eyes red, but her back was straight. She looked different, stronger. Jacob, she said quietly. I need to say it myself. My heart pounded. Are you sure? She nodded once. I opened the door just enough to keep the chain locked. Ethan stood there, calm on the surface, irritation flashing in his eyes when he saw her. Babe, he said, let's go. You're overreacting. No, Luna said. Her voice shook, but she didn't stop. I'm not overreacting. I'm done. He scoffed. This is because of him. She looked at me for half a second, then back at Ethan. No, this is because you don't listen. You make me feel small. And I don't want that anymore. His face tightened. You'll regret this. Maybe, she said, but I already regret staying. That did it. His calm cracked. He muttered something under his breath, stepped back, and finally walked away down the hall. I waited until I heard the building door close. I shut my door and locked it. The silence afterward felt unreal. Luna stood there for a second, then her strength gave out. She leaned into me and started crying. Not quiet tears. Real ones. I held her, slow and careful. You did the hardest part, I said. She pulled back, wiping her face. I can't believe I finally said it. I smiled softly. I can't believe I waited so long. She looked at me, really looked at me. Why did you? Because I was afraid, I said. But I don't want to be afraid anymore. She reached up and touched my cheek. I wanted you for so long. I leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. Our kiss was gentle, not rushed. It felt like relief more than fire. When we pulled back, she rested her forehead against mine. No more silence, she whispered. No more, I promised. We sat on the couch together, the rain still falling outside, the city moving on. And for the first time in years, the quiet felt like peace.